Welcome to Website Design Made Simple, the podcast for busy small business owners who want a high-performing website that converts and sells their offers, even while they're sleeping. Because you deserve to have a strategic and beautiful website that truly represents your brand and positions you as the expert that you are. I'm your host, Jenny B., web designer and creative director at Jenny B Designs, where we believe that your website is the one thing that makes you sales and builds your brand at the same time. Ready to say goodbye to a website that you're embarrassed to share? And hello to a money-making, personality-packed powerhouse? Let's head into today's episode. I can't tell you how many times clients have come to me in a consultation call asking these same two questions. Will this new website help me show up in search results? And how do I get more reviews for my website? These are both challenges. I absolutely get it. Building up those rankings take work, and updated reviews take work, especially if you're just starting out with a new website. And to answer those two questions, no, simply launching a new website won't solve these two things on its own. But the good news is there's one powerful tool that can help with both of these problems, and it's completely free. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Hey, friend, welcome to the podcast. I'm so excited to have you here. This episode has been inspired by a few calls I've had recently, and I thought that I wanted to share this information about this Google Business Profile because it is so important as it pertains to your website. I really believe they go hand in hand, and I wanted to show you how you can better utilize this resource, especially since it's free and it does so much for you. Now, before we get started, just a quick intro for those who I haven't met and to reintroduce myself to everyone else. My name is Jenny B. I own Jenny B Designs. We are a brand and web design studio, and I love helping other small businesses shine online. I really adore bringing out your brand personality and making sure that we are demonstrating what makes you unique and attracting those ideal customers that you want to work with so that you can get more leads and make more money with your website. Because in my opinion, that is why you have a website, so that you can increase the revenue that you're generating for your business. So along those lines, let's get into today's episode. Now, we are talking about Google My Business, or actually what it's now called is Google Business Profile. But I did a quick search, and actually more people are searching for the old term Google My Business. So if that's how you know it, that is what we're going to call it. But just know that they actually have changed the name to Google Business Profile. Now let's talk about what we need to do. I wanted to share with you 4 tips on how you can implement this free resource and how it pertains to your website. The first tip is I want you to go over and optimize your business listing. And if you don't have one, I want you to create one. And when I say optimize, this is what I would like you to do. I want you to go over, check it out, and I want you to completely fill out your profile where it talks about your business name, your business hours. If you work online like me, I actually put some business hours in, but you can have open all the time, but make sure that that field is not blank. I also want you to look at your category. This is a really important option that you need to choose. The primary category is something that means a lot to Google. Go over there and make sure that you select a primary category. If you're unsure of what you should choose for your primary category, I suggest taking a peek at one of your competitors, just seeing what they have, because this is one of the most important pieces of the profile so that Google can understand exactly what you offer. Make sure that you're also filling out your address if you're a physical location. If you're not a physical location, you do need to complete your address. For me, I work at home. That's where my office is. I do share my address with Google, but I have it so that it does not show on the public profile. But you do need an address so that they can really understand exactly where you are located and where you serve your clients. You're going to want to also update your logo and your services and photos. And that's really important as well. When you're thinking about the photos that you're going to use on the profile, make sure that they're really high quality of your business, of your services. If you have a team, of your team, making sure that they're warm and inviting. If you have a physical location, make sure that you have a picture of the outside of the location. That really resonates with viewers as well. And then when you're thinking about writing your description, think about what your keywords are. And sometimes when I say keywords, people kind of stress and say, oh goodness, it's a whole SEO thing. Keywords are really simple. keep it simple. For me, website design, like that's one of my keywords. That's what I do. I'm a website designer. Thinking about when you're writing your description, making sure that you're using those keywords. And finally, the last thing that I want you to do is encourage people to leave reviews. And there will be a link when you log into your Google business profile that you can share with either a potential new client or past client. You can share that link with them, and then they have the option of leaving you a review right in your Google business profile. Think about your business listing. Look at it and make sure that it is optimized, that everything is complete, that you have photos and you're starting to gather reviews. Now, tip number 2 is that I want you to make sure that your website is synced to that listing. And what does that mean? The first and most important piece of that is I want you to ensure that your name, address, and phone, if you have your phone on your website, is consistent across both of these platforms. This is super important because it tells Google that you are the same business. And when I mean the same, I mean down to the letter. For example, if you on your Google business profile, if you write, you live on 123 Smith Road, and you write out the word road, ROAD, on Google Business, you want to make sure that you're doing the same thing over on your website side so that you are saying ROAD and you're not abbreviating. Same thing goes if you have a suite and then maybe you have suite on the profile, but on your website it says, the abbreviation, or maybe you say apartment. You want to make sure that the two are exactly the same. Same goes for your phone number. If you have the parentheses, make sure that it's consistent on both sides. Another thing that you can do is that on your contact page, you have the ability to embed a Google map. And that forms that connection to Google that you are the same business as the business profile. Consider embedding the map on your contact page. Or sometimes if you have a physical location, you can even embed it in the footer because then it's going to be available on every single page. And finally, what you could do on your contact page is also link to that business profile. This is an added thing if you want to or not, but sometimes you link to your social media profiles. You could also link to that Google business profile. Those are ways that you can sync your website to your business profile. Now, tip number 3 is I want you to think about the Google Business Features section. There is the ability to post updates, post offers, and post events. And this is something that a lot of people forget. And to be honest, not a ton of people will actually be viewing these posts, but what it does is it kind of primes Google and it gives them more information about your business, and they kind of collect it and they put all the pieces together and create that spider web. I encourage my clients, once they have their business profile set up, to post occasional updates. I do this myself. I actually have a Zap set up behind the scenes so that every time I publish a podcast episode, that episode is posted on my Google business profile. It happens all behind the scenes. But if it wasn't happening behind the scenes, I would set a time, at least once a week, I would say, or once every other week, and go post an update. I'm sure most of you are posting on Facebook or Instagram or some kind of social platform. Repurpose that content and just make sure that you post it on that Google business profile. That definitely helps prime Google. The second thing you can do is post offers. If you have a specific offer that's coming up, or perhaps you just want to share your offers again over there, it's a great place to do it. And finally, at the events. If you have something coming up, that's a great place to share it. You also want to make sure that you are monitoring the reviews that you're getting over there. Every time someone gives you a review, make sure you are responding to that review. That's very, very important, both positive and negative. For positive, Google just wants you to see that you are active on your profile. And then if you have a negative review, it's even more important to respond. Because when someone leaves a negative review, and I do this, I go to someone's profile, I see a negative review. Honestly, you can't please everyone. And what's more important to me than the negative review is the response that the company has. It's your turn to be able to share how you deal with conflict and those negative reviews, and making sure that you are responding to every review is a really important thing to do. And finally, You can check the insights to understand who is coming to your profile and what they are doing and how they are connecting. You can also see how many people are actually calling you from the profile if you include your telephone number as one of the calls to action. Those are 3 ways to leverage those features in the Google Business profile. And then finally, you want to integrate it into your marketing. And by doing this, you can share your Google listing profile in email signatures. You can share it on social media occasionally. You can leverage it as part of your SEO strategy if you're using ongoing strategy. You can leverage it as part of your review process. For me, as part of my review process, my testimonials that I collect when I am finished a project, I ask my clients a series of questions to get to the heart of what we did together. And then my final step is asking them to go post their review on my Google Business profile. And I include a link to that. Thinking about how you can integrate it into your marketing. Perhaps you have a newsletter that you send out and you are looking to get some more reviews. Include a link and ask for the review. It's so funny because we all stress about getting more reviews and who can we ask? But most likely you probably haven't asked too many times, and people really need to be asked to give a review. I try to think of someone each week that I can go out and give a review to, but it's something that I am actively thinking about and I have on my to-do list. If I didn't actively have that on my to-do list, I probably would forget. We are busy people. Asking is an important part of that strategy. Now, those are the 4 tips. Now, why is it important to do these 4 things? Let's recap: to optimize your listing, to sync your website with the listing, to leverage the features section, and then finally to integrate it into your marketing. Let's talk about why it's important. When you do all of these things, number 1, you're going to show up on Google in that map pack. What that means is when someone is searching for your services, when someone searches for something like website design, they are served up a map, and underneath the map, there are listings of the businesses that do that specific service. That comes directly from your Google Business profile. It's not your website, it's from the profile. That's how you get into the map pack. Having that website adds that boost of credibility to that Google Business profile listing, but that's what gets you in the map pack. That's how you appear. Now, as you start optimizing that profile and syncing it with your website and posting those posts and updates, then in turn, that profile is going to be giving juice, for lack of better terms, to your website. And it will help your website appear higher in search rankings. When someone is searching for website design, perhaps they're searching for something more specific. For example, for me, health and wellness website design, I like to work with a lot of health and wellness providers. When they search for something more specific, I am more likely to show up because I have been working on my Google Business profile. I have the reviews. I have positive experiences. I have all of my keywords. I also have the type of services I offer. Everything that I'm doing over on the Google Business profile is helping my website rank higher in search. Those are the reasons why you really want to put some effort into optimizing this business profile. And like I said, it's free and it doesn't take much to get it started. If you haven't already created a Google Business profile, get on over there, create your profile. If you do have one, then start optimizing it. Make sure that everything is completed. Start doing some posts. Add some events if you have some. Ask for a few reviews. And then finally look over your website and making sure that everything matches exactly from one place to another. And by doing that, you can start showing up in that map pack and then start showing up higher in search. And there you have it. That is an easy way to rank higher in search just by focusing on your Google Business profile. Now, speaking of reviews, I've just shared with you how to get reviews on your Google Business profile. If you have a moment and you enjoyed this episode, I would so greatly appreciate it if you would leave me a review on your podcast app where you're listening to this. It means so much and it allows me to get my message out to more small business owners. Thanks so much for listening, and I will talk to you next time. And that wraps up another episode of Website Design Made Simple. I hope you found the insights shared in this episode valuable and takes you one step closer to creating a website that attracts more of your ideal clients and builds your brand. If you enjoyed this episode, please take a minute to leave a review on Apple Podcasts or a rating on Spotify. Your review will help us reach more small business owners like you who are ready to make more money with their website. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode.